specifically Freud. And I'm wondering if there was that kind of magic between you and Huston.
John was, I was very, I've really been very fortunate in terms of people that I've worked with. I've worked with, John Huston, Howard Hawks, Otto Preminger, Carol Reed. I mean, these were great directors, and I've gone through, up to with Steven Spielberg, and I've had a chance to, all the way through. So I've been very fortunate. I started off, the best way I describe it is I started off with directors who were father figures, continued on with directors who were peers, and now I'm working with directors the same age as my children. So, it's been very interesting for me. And John was wonderful. I was totally in awe of him, and he was flamboyant. I was very fortunate to have done 2 films with him, but particularly Freud. We did that picture in Rome, and that was my first trip to Europe. And of course, to be deposited, 32 years old, in Rome, the most beautiful city in the world, and then have John there to act as your tour guide. I think, John, I got to work. I'm working at it. So you're going to come have lunch. I'm going to show you the city.
He's great for that, wasn't he?
And, to take you go to the Pantheon, and he said, now get out of the car. Now close your eyes and take my arm and take me into this building, and then say, look up, and then you see this immense dome, this magnificent dome with a whole, in the sense of drama. Well, and then to work with him on the film, which was not extensive because I only sat and spotted the picture for music with him, and then I never saw him again. Yeah. But what we did, the time we took to decide where music goes, and there was something that I learned from him that it was so wise. There was one scene in the picture where I wasn't sure that music should go there. He wasn't sure that music should go there. We went back and forth and back and forth, and he said, look, if you're that uncertain about it, forget it. Don't put any music there because it won't be good, because you don't feel it. And I said, thank you very much. And the thing I try to tell the other directors, if I don't feel it, why make me do it? So it was a great time with him.
A few comments, if I could, Jerry Goldsmith, on the state of film music today. Any bright stars on the horizon? Your son Joel?
Well, Joel's doing, he's a sweet boy. It's been as a matter of fact, the picture we just finished, I'm doing it all electronic. He actually is recording the music. He's the mixer for me. He has to be a very good mixer besides very talented.
Well, that's terrific.
I got him in between films. Joel is going to do all right. He did a television show, and we'll see. Time will show.
What about electronics and computers today and their whole role?
Well, as you can see,
I know. Yeah.
And here's my trusty Mac. And,
you're right. I love it.
I think that a lot of composers are sort of gadget freaks, too, which I guess I always was a gadget freak. I used to sit with a piano and a piece of paper, and now I've got a computer, and, I still have to, it comes right down to it. I sit with the paper and put the pen and pencil to it.
I hope always.
Yeah, I think so. But, there's something about new technology, and it gets tempting. I've always been interested in electronics. It's something I started with, actually, on Freud. It was very primitive in those days. Before we had what's called voltage control, these kind of electronic instruments, everything was done with tape and cutting it with razor blades, and very primitive way to do it. Primitive was 20-some-odd years ago. It wasn't that long ago.
I know.
To come with all of these instruments, all have microprocessors in them. But I've been interested in it the whole time, and it sort of stayed up with it. It's because it really started with something I hear that, in my mind, I've always wanted certain colors, certain effects that maybe went beyond what the acoustical instruments were capable of doing. I was fooling around all the time with slowing tracks down and manipulating it in various ways. And so to me, it's just sort of a natural evolution. It's not there to replace the orchestra by any means.